My name is Tim Woods, and I'm part of the Florida Association of the Deaf, or FAD. I'm also the legislative and coordinator for the FAD. Has been working with the Florida Registry of Interpreters for the Deaf, or FRID, and our goal has been to pass a law that would require all interpreters in the state of Florida to be licensed. People may be wondering, what's the license for? Hearing people may think, well, we're offering interpreters, so why? Well, you have to consider that if you don't have a bad and unqualified, if you have a bad and unqualified interpreter, that can affect you as an individual, as a group, or even influence you on a worldwide scale. If you want a good example, just look at this. Now, many people may be thinking, what is he saying? Like, what is he even doing? He's obviously a lousy interpreter. Or maybe some people are thinking that he's a fraud. Well, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I want to let you all know that what he's actually doing is practicing. People may be thinking, practicing for what? Well, he's practicing for this. That explains a lot, doesn't it? Well, that's obviously funny, but this is a very serious topic because when it comes to qualified interpreters, it can impact you in many different ways, in different facets of your life. I have three good examples. One is if you have to go in for surgery for a medical problem and you're going in to consult with your doctor. It's important you have a top of the line interpreter so that he can relay your questions and answers so that you don't get lost or miss any part of the conversation. This can be the difference between life and death for you. Then also, you imagine if you're arrested and you're with your lawyer and you're going to court. Your freedom depends on your interpreter and how they have to relay everything correctly, or you could go to jail. And then there's interpreting in education. Last year, we helped pass a law that would require deaf and hard of hearing children, whether they are mainstream or residential, they would have to have a licensed interpreter provided to them for skilled communication for these children. And some people may be thinking, what's the point of this? Many interpreters before this followed two different standards. You have our state standard, and then there's the national standard for RID. And if you meet that standard, that means that interpreter has a high skill level, and they're qualified to possibly interpret. And there are lots of other examples, like if you're in a meeting about money, say about stock, and you come in and sit down and you're starting and the interpreter comes in with you, and the person asks, what are your qualifications? And the interpreter thinks it's about them. They say, I've taken 2 classes this semester, and I've taken ASL 2 semesters. I'm qualified. That problem has been continuously happening for a long time now. If we had to do something, last week of this month, FRID went to the government building and met with the state legislators to discuss our problem with interpreters. Many of the legislators didn't realize that this problem was more serious than they expected. They didn't know it was this serious. Now it's your turn, though. We've done our part as the organization. On March 25th, Deaf Awareness Day, we're all going to right in the Capitol building in Tallahassee. That's where it's going to take place. It's going to be an all-day event. And I want you to see, and I want to see an army of deaf. I don't want to see people who kind of think like, oh, they'll go, I'll just stay home. I want everyone, and I mean you, and you, and you, you, and you. You too. And when I arrive at the government building, I don't want to see the legislators to open up and see this. No. I want the legislators to see this. If the legislators see such a large crowd of people, they'll realize three things. That we mean business, first off. That we're here for something. They realize maybe the interpreter problem has been more serious than they expected. And also, it'll show votes that we have the power, that we can do something with our votes, and that they can help solve our problems with this legislation. Now, all of you, if we're successfully pass this law into law, we can celebrate because we've successfully included Florida as part of deaf history. So I want to see you, and you, and you. Yes, you too. I want to see you all at the government building in Tallahassee on March 25th. Thanks.